Okay, so we're back with the 1996 Futera NBL Basketball Series 1 opening. We have 120 packs. We've opened a few already. That's in part 1. This is going to be part 2. Most likely going to be at least a part 3 and 4. Currently just scrolling through some of the picks and finds that we got from the last video, and as I mentioned in the last video, one of the earlier boxes I opened before I started recording, I got several of the Outer Limits Shane Heal cards, and they are all in succession, and they all came out of the same box. Got 5,503 there, and 5. The only one I am missing is 4. Then that one will be 6, 7, and 8. Now I should probably point out that in the last video, being my first video that I planned on uploading to YouTube, I am a complete and utter amateur. It's poor quality lighting, slightly better lighting tonight, slightly better camera position. So for all the cards that we missed because I was actually watching myself open them instead of watching through the lens, apologies for that. Well, part 2 should be slightly better, less rambling as well, hopefully. Can't leave the air dead though, gotta keep chatting away. Not that I have all that much interesting to say these days, but until I learn how to add some background music maybe, you'll have to put up with that if you want to watch all of these. Now, just before we kick off, Hobby Horde is the channel I've started. I blabbed on about, the people who gave me the mat and everything. I wanted to point out that, being new, I don't have any sponsors, and I did say I don't want them. And that's true. I'm not looking to make a big, amazing channel. This is a hobby channel. And Hobby Horde comes from the fact that I am a hobby hoarder. As I mentioned in part 1, coins, stamps, cards. I'm even learning lapidary, which I hope to add to the channel in the coming months once I get all of that. So, I just want to share, learn some new stuff, show you guys some new stuff. If you find it interesting, great. In my last video, I didn't say subscribe or click like. That's always appreciated, even for hobby channels. It lets us know that the content that we have produced is something that you've enjoyed. Obviously, subscribe because that's the way you get notified for other videos that come out. I also mentioned that I do have a 9 to 5, so videos aren't going to come out every Tuesday or every Wednesday. They'll come out as I can film them. Location and equipment will get better. As I said, tonight's a lot better. Definitely the position. You can absolutely see the cards now. Might just move that light just a little bit. How's that? No, not quite. We'll have to make do with that. So, let's get cracking. Part 2. This will be limited to 30 minutes, this video. I went to 45 on the first one. Don't really want to do that again. So 30 minutes. What we'll open as many packs as we can get to. Maybe we will only make a part 2 on this set. No idea how many packs we've got left. Didn't count how many we opened last night. Didn't count how many were left. It's a surprise. All right. I mentioned I got these cards off a seller on eBay. That I said it was Cardzone. It is Cardzone Australia, but they've also got like a more localized name as well. But I think if you type in Cardzone Australia into YouTube, eBay, sorry, you should have no trouble. I think that's the actual store rather than the seller. They've got a lot of cards. I think I saw some Stargate ones and some Buffy the Vampire ones. Didn't even know there was trading cards in those. Tony Jetson moved into North Melbourne. Good for you, mate. Oh. 1 pack, 2 ladies. Trish Fallon. Ladies of the NBL. Also mentioned in part 1 that I've actually, I've opened a few boxes of these now and got some stuck away. Randomly selected this lot to come out. Oh, that's got a bit of whining on it. That's terrible. That one's been knocked around a bit. Mr. Gaze, Mr. Andrew Gaze. I've only got 2 cards to collect for an almost master set. Tidy them up. Don't leave them in a pile. That's horrible. Yeah. So 2 more cards and I'll have an almost master set. Of course, it's not a true master set because I don't have the dual autograph card, which was a redemption card. I have the redemption card to send that you could send off back in the day. Sea salt exum for the cats. In fact, I've got 2 of those, but I do not have the card that you would have got redeemed. And as I said, I've never seen it in the wild. Never seen so much as a photo of it. Don't know if it's out there. Don't know if it exists. Would be a shame if it didn't. If you do see this video and you know of one, I mean, comment underneath the video. Let me know. I'd like to get at least a glimpse of one once. And, if the price is right, I might buy it just so I can say I have the master set. Also, let me know, because I've been thinking that I know I like it when I watch videos and they sort their cards properly. Limited space, so I can't really sort them all out today, and I don't have my tray with me. So if you want to see some videos where I'm just sorting out the bulk and putting them in order and everything, I'm more than happy to get the camera out. I do like doing that on my spare time. It's an odd little quirk I have, I suppose you could say. Making sure they're all in order. All the ones of the same number are in place. Am I opening these all upside down? I am. Or are they upside down? They're upside down. This lot's stuck together. Again, that's another thing that happens with these older cards. They're basically just photos printed on cardstock. The glossy film on them. Cecil kicking herself again. Leon Tringham kicking us off again. Oh. Well, that's a sad reveal. Oh, bloody hell. Wait. Derek Rucker. I have all of the Outer Limits cards already. He's number, 623 of 6,000. That's not bad, Mr. Rucker. Not bad at all. Put you down there because we'll sleeve you up. And of course, I'm unprepared again. No sleeves. Ooh, stuck together. I do like these foil cards. I've seen them online called just foil cards. I call them, glitter cards. That's Outer Limits is more of a foil to me. Background looks kind of like the original Pokemon foil. I suppose Pokemon NBL came first. But I do like these ones in particular. Put you down there. Another lady, Alison Cook. You do get a lot of the Women's Basketball League inserts. Basically, the chase cards are the Outer Limits, the Future Forces, not Futera Forces, Future Forces. This one. And, of course, the Uncle Toby's camo holographics. These puppies. I call them camo glitch holographics. I have no idea what they really would be called. No idea at all. If you know, or you have a better name, comment down below. That's the way it works. Take one from the other side. Yeah, so lighting, once again, not great. I am using a I guess you'd call it a travel kit. I'm not at home, not at the desk, not in a proper setup. Bought some new equipment today. New tripod, the new light. Still figuring it out. That's part of this. I've always had an interest in photography and film, but always sort of YouTube was already a thing before I noticed it, even though it was sort of kicked off by blokes my age back when they were in their late teens, early 20s. I just kind of look at things and go, yeah, I won't get in on that. And then later I'm like, I actually kind of would have enjoyed that. So that's another reason we've started this channel, this Hobby Horde channel. Because it's about time I did stuff like that. 2023's got to be the year. We stop saying, oh, I won't be any good at that. Oh, I'm not going to try that. I don't want to look dumb. Well, sometimes you look dumb for not trying. Tell me I'm wrong. That looks like an unfortunate photo to be snapped in there, mate. Mr. Smith, what do you feel like you're stuck to something? You're not. Just a slightly thicker card. Ricky Grace, David Close. Yeah, so I'm just clarifying in this part too, sort of some of the stuff that I ran off with last night. One of which was grading. I mentioned that, I don't mind people making a buck off the card hobby. I mean, that's kind of always what grading and reselling and was for some people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mentioned some of the prices are a bit ridiculous, and they're absolutely ridiculous for some things. You know, I don't want to make out like I'm not going to sell any spare cards or anything, and then be called out for it later. You said you weren't. You know, I'm not a seller. I'm not in this to make massive amounts of money. I will sell my excess stock. There is no point in me keeping boxes and boxes and boxes of base sets and all the extras. And as for grading, well, I did say grading my own cards because I consider it protection. Some people have said that it's actually not safer. You're taking a bigger risk, and that is true if you send it off to somebody. Yeah. I've got another Outer Limits card. If you send it off to somebody, you're running the risk that it gets damaged in transport. You get running the risk that, you know, they've got 150 cards to process in one day and they're running out of time, and your card gets damaged or something happens to it. And it is a bit arbitrary. I think it needs to be more streamlined when it comes to grading of cards, and you know what their value is in terms of the actual grade, like a 9 or a 10 or an 8 or a 1, like, because some people have half grades like 9.5 and whatever, and you know, everybody has their favorite company, and PSA is the very popular one at the moment, so much so that they literally stopped taking cards for a while. And for some reason, a PSA 10, you know, doesn't equate to a PSA 10, a 10 from somebody else. Even though that 10, technically, you know, that other company might have half grades. They might be a 9, a 9.5, and then a 10. So technically, a 9 and a 9 isn't equal between PSA and the other company. A 10 would technically be an equivalent. I don't know. I'm talking gibberish. But yeah, so, you know, most of the time I'm going to go through a smallish, I suppose they wouldn't consider themselves too small, Australian grading company for my own personal cards. Again, I might send off certain American cards. I've got some NFL cards and whatever that, you know, probably should be done by an American company, I guess, or a slightly more prestigious company, but we'll see. We'll see. It all comes down to who can do it. And do I have the money? Do I have the time? They are safe in me binders, like the one behind you. Although apparently, as I said yesterday as well, in part 1, apparently I buy the wrong binders because O-rings are bad. Who knew? Got to buy binders with D-rings because they put less pressure on the pages. Don't overfill your binders. Wow, I've made that mistake. Get all this bulk. You want to put all these in a folder instead of leaving them in boxes. So, Mr. Gaze again. Oh, and he's in front of his thing again. Some of these packs are identical. Oh. So that's the way it goes. Oh, geez. I gave this a limit of 30 minutes and we haven't opened very many packs at all. Oh, another out of limits. There we go. We're at 20-minute mark. Can't be at this all night. Oh, Mr. Gaze. There he is. Gracing us with your presence tonight, sir. In a rather decent looking one. There's a few lines. There's a lot of lines on these. Machine lines. Print lines coming through in these packs. There he is again. And again. Mr. Joey Wright for the Cats. Bruce Bolden for the Kings. Matthew Alexander and Daryl McDonald. Now, I did have who we needed to find, the one we're on the hunt for. We haven't got one of those cards yet, so the old checklists. So dig them out of the bulk we pulled yesterday. We've got checklist number 1 and 2. Don't really need number 1. Now, I need Mr. Rupert Sapwell. Got all his friends more than once for the Future Forces. Need Mr. Rupert Sapwell to pay us a visit. And on the other side, the Uncle Toby's All-Stars, I need Mr. Leroy Loggins. Funny that. Can't get you in your double autograph. Can't get you in the Uncle Toby's. Where are you, Mr. Loggins? And Mr. Sapwell. Do us a favour. Pay us a visit. If you wouldn't mind. Oh. Mr. David Blades. We got, is that an Outer Limits or an Uncle Toby's behind you? It's an Outer Limits. It's Mr. Heel. I wonder if that's number 4. If it's number 4, Mr. Heel, I will forgive you. Oh. Well, not forgiven yet, mate. Sorry. No forgiveness. Bloody hell. Did somebody forget to put you in all the other boxes and then they've decided to just chuck you in the packs in all of these ones? Because you're coming up a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, let somebody else come out and play. There's an awful lot of your cards. I mean, I know there's technically 6,000 of you. There is 6,000 of you, but I don't want all 6,000. That's a bit rude. Did anybody get a master set if I'm getting all of them? Probably not. Oh, bloody hell. Cards aren't in too bad a nick for coming out the pack like that, although that's probably my fault. Throwing them around like I do. Mr. Gaze. Mr. Andrew Gaze. And again for the awards. Most efficient, top point scorer, and international player of the year. Oh, there he is representing Australia. That's not too bad, sir. Joey Wright, Bruce Bolden. The Hawks are my boys, but I really do like the purple of the Kings. I mean, I suppose they're my second team. In a pinch, if they're playing, as long as they're not playing the Hawks. Daryl McDonald and Cameron Dickinson for the Suns. Ah, that's a quickie ding. Lakers are playing the Suns on TV right now. In the background, which you can't see, but I can. Is this a repeat? Oh. Nobody wants to hear you talk about that. What are we at? 25 minutes. Lead neck. 5 more minutes. That's the way I carry on. That's what, 1.5 more packs? Oh, we're just having fun, are we? Are we? I don't know. I know he's doing it. Oh, Brad Williams. Mr. Brad Williams. I do like those real court shots. I'm not too much of a fan of modern sports cards, the way that they're just sort of backgrounds with a photo superimposed on them. They're not like live photos. I do prefer them. Futera Dream Team, number 5. I think we got one of them yesterday as well. All the kids used to want one of these so they could calculate the points and head to the grand final with their mum and dad. Don't know if anybody ever got that one either. Get your bloody hands out of the way, you fool. Mr. Leonard Copeland. Justin Withers. That's an interesting court. Green, as it is. Who have we got here? Johnny Jensen. Most improved. Oh. Well, I suppose that's a compliment. One more pack. One more pack. One more. Who's been keeping track? I haven't. Once again, we'll just keep opening packs in 30-minute videos or however long it takes until they are all good. Miss Cook, Mr. Gazen, Miss Cook, Miss Cook, Miss Cook, I don't know. Allison, should just call you Allison. Andrew and Allison. Mr. Mark Nash. Aaron Trahir. Always worry about the cards sticking together. Mr. Shane Hill. And Mr. Mark Brandon. There's another lady at the back. Oh, it's Miss Allison Cook again. Good Lord. Ricky Grace, David Close, Cecil, Leon, John, and Allison. One more. We can go over slightly. Slightly. There we go. Steve Woodbury. Tony Jensen, Andrew Zval Dennis. Well, I am terrible with names. Trish, we've got a couple of you too. Mr. Gaze, once again, closing us out with his awards. Joey Wright, Bruce Bolden, and Matthew Alexander. And that will conclude part 2. We've got a few here. Few pulls that side of the pack opening. Excuse me. That side of the pack opening. Pretty terrible. Andrew Parkinson, David Stiff, unfortunately, Derek Rucker, and Mr. Shane Heal. All right, that concludes part 2. See you guys in part 3.